You won't be doing any more until after the race?
No. As they walk off the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hobart Greyhound Racing Club and Foster's Lager present the 45th running of the time-honoured Hobart 1000 Classic. One greyhound tonight will join a list of champions that have won this event, first run in 1939 when won by Mr Wackles off a 6-yard handicap over a 420-yard circuit. Many greats have won this race from interstate, including the great Erin's Ace in 1949, Rookie Rebel in 1958, Benjamin John, Plunder Road, Black Aztec, and more recently Brother Fox in 1985. And who could forget some of the great local dogs that have won this race, including Peter's Treasure, Ophir Dole, the only dual winner in 1961-62, Sousa Credit, Royal Griffin, and in 1984 Double Time. Tonight's field comprises 7 Tasmanian greyhounds and 1 from New South Wales, and collectively they have won 82 races. The girls escorting the dogs tonight are from the Tasmanian Dance Studio. One on the red is True Vintage, by Busy Vintage out of Little Jackie, owned by David Croswell, trained by Margaret Croswell, and led tonight by Karen Chilcott. She has won 27 of her 41 race starts with 7 seconds and 2/3. She has had 12 starts at Hobart for 10 wins, 2 seconds, and is the logical favourite for this event, and her list of credits are already endless. At Hobart, she has won the Gold Cup, the state final of the National Sprint, and was second here in the National Final. At White City, she has won the Oaks, the Coca-Cola Cup, the Breeders' Classic, and the Launceston Cup. She has twice run a record time of 26:32 here, and is the unofficial record holder at both White City and at Olympic Park. She has not been beaten by a Tasmanian greyhound since her debut here on October the 2nd, 1986. And if she wins tonight, she will join Erin's Ace and Jamin John as only dogs that have won the Launceston Cup Hobart 1000 double in the 1 year. 2 on the check is Circus Brother, by Little Blade out of Dirty Deeds, is owned and trained by Michael and Wendy Perry, and led in tonight with Alyssa Burgess. From only 7 race starts, she has won 3, and he has won 3, and has been placed second on 3 occasions, all runs at Hobart. He has won 3 over this trip. He is an exciting young dog that won heat, semi and final of the recent Maiden 1000 series, and if you recall, White Gigolo did the same last year before winning this event. Circus Brother ran second to Leica Tower in his heat before leading and dead heating last year behind Bookie's Regret in his semi-final in 26:62. A faultless beginner, he must rate a great chance at only his 8th race start. Three on the white is Bookie's Regret, by Murchison's Champ from Final Parade, is owned by Cyril Bosworth and trained by Morris Strickland at Bracknell, and led in by Jackie Burke. From 54 race starts, Bookie's Regret has won 21 with 10 seconds and 6/3. From 15 Hobart starts, she has won 6 with 6 placings. This powerful bitch has made 11 finals in the last 12 months. She hasn't won one, but she did run second to True Vintage in the Gold Cup and third to the same dog in the Launceston Breeders' Classic. She often gives a big start away in her races, which makes her record even more impressive. After running third to True Vintage in her heat, she finished brilliantly in a semi-final to dead heat with Circus Brother, and she has run a personal best here of 26:48. 4 on the blue, Like a Tower, by Good Gift from Al Griffin, owned and trained by Eric Cohen and led in by Lisa Creswell. From only 9 starts, he has won 5 with 3 placings and has won 4 of his 5 Hobart starts with a second at his only other start. This exciting dog is the youngest runner in the race at only 25 months of age. He has taken all before him in recent weeks and is going for his 5th win in a row tonight. He won his heat from box 8 in 26:51 and last week ran a near record 26:36 to devastate a good field from box 1. Less well drawn tonight, he still has the explosion early to give this race a big shake. His trainer has very few dogs but made the final and ran third in 1983 with Mr Topnotch. 4 on the blue, Like a Tower. 5 yellow, our interstate visitor November Bale from New South Wales, by Billy Bale out of November Lily, is owned and trained by Mrs Christine Oldfield and led in by Annalie Brumby. He has won 10 races and from 5 Hobart starts has a win and 4 placings. This strong finisher from the Premier State is well known here now. Last year, after a third in both heat and semi-final, he came out and won the consolation final of this event in the fastest time of the night, 26.51. This year he has run second to Circus Fox in the heat and powered home last week to almost cause an upset, only a neck behind True Vintage in 26.54. With a clear run, this former Harold Park specialist could go one better than his kennel mate November Prince, who ran second to Solitary Simon in 1986. 6 on the brown is Stoned Zulu, by African Zulu out of Diamonds. He's owned by Michael Roberts and Mrs. Frances Whitford, trained by Leon Brasendale and led tonight by David Rolfe and the young lady Karen Joyce. From 26 starts, he has won 5 with 6 placings and has won 3 of his 13 Hobart starts with 5 placings. A litter brother to top Victorian sprinter Cooper, Stone Zulu is racing in brilliant form of late. He easily beat a smart field from the same box he has tonight in 26.77 in his heat and was only half a length behind Mary Griffin in 26.78 last week in the semi-final. He has a personal best of 26.66 here and is a proven performer from wide draws. 7 on the black is Mary Griffin by Double Time out of Our Griffin. Our Griffin also is the mother of Like a Tower but from a different litter. Owned and trained by Des, June and Tim Latham, led in tonight by Des and Andrea Manson. From 37 starts she has won 7 with 13 seconds and 5 thirds and has won 5 of her 21 Hobart starts with 10 placings. By a former winner of this event, Double Time, and a half-sister to Like a Tower, Mary Griffin is one of Tasmania's most consistent dogs and has only been unplaced once in her last 14 starts. She ran second to Highland Black in her heat before running the race of her life last week to beat a top semi-final field in 26.78. This is her first final appearance, but what a final to make. 8 on the pink is Blue Ziggy by Johnny's Monaro out of Petite Ziggy, owned by Dottie and Lisa Chaplin, trained by Dottie Chaplin and led in by Vanessa Young. From 23 starts, this young dog has won 4 with 11 placings, has yet to win at Hobart but has been placed second twice from only 3 starts. This highly consistent performer is trained by one of the hard workers of greyhound racing, and tonight's win would be a very popular one if it went this way. Already this season, Blue Ziggy has made the Johnson Puppy Final, the Breeders' Classic at White City. He ran 4th in the final of the Devonport Cup and 5th in the final of the Launceston Cup. He ran 4th to Some Gain in his heat before running second to Like a Tower in his semi-final, and he has been placed at his only 2 appearances from box 8. 8 on the pink, Blue Ziggy.
Now they've been locked away. Even numbers: 2 Czech Circus Brother, 4 Blue Like a Tower, 6 Brown Stone Zulu, and 8 Pink Blue Ziggy. There's the green light. They're set to go. 1988 Foster's Hobart 1000 final. Ready. And away, True Vintage came out quickly down on the inside. November Bale a bit slow to begin. Circus Brother went to second. Book His Regret as third. They were followed by Stone Zulu, Like a Tower in between greyhounds. Further back came Mary Griffin. November Bale getting a run up on the inside. Well back Like a Tower. Blue Ziggy around the home turn. And she's away, True Vintage. She's 6 in front. Into second place, November Bale running on. But on the lure, True Vintage spears away to win by a minute. And True Vintage goes down to the wire to beat Book His Regret in November Bale. In third placing then further back Stone Zulu rather from Mary Griffin. Blue Ziggy must have copped a check. It was well back in the field with Like a Tower. And the time 26.34, 2/100ths of a second outside the track record which True Vintage holds.
The Honourable Ian Braid, Minister for Racing, Mr John Beattie, MHA, Speaker of the House of Assembly in Tasmania, Mr Bruce Goodluck, MHA for Franklin, Mr Clem Hoggett, Chairman of the Tasmanian Greyhound Racing Board, Mr Kevin Pearce, Director of Racing, Mr Rolf Shanahan, Sales Manager of Carlton United Breweries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've seen a great race. The 1988 Foster's Lager Hobart 1000 final. We've seen a champion dog, I think you'd all agree. And to introduce the guests, Robert Higgins, Chairman of the Hobart Greyhound Racing Club Incorporated.
Thank you, Bill. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it gives me much pleasure to stand before you once again and preside over the presentations for the 1988 Foster's Lager Hobart 1000. This is the 45th running of this time-honoured event, the oldest greyhound race in Australia, and fittingly it was taken out by a champion. One of only 3 greyhounds to complete the rare double, the Hobart 1000 and Launceston Cup doubles, and I'm sure that it is a popular win here this evening, remembering of course that this greyhound was narrowly beaten in the Arnott Harper Sprint Championship in October. So ladies and gentlemen, before we start the formalities, please put your hands together for a champion greyhound, true vintage. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure on behalf of the committee, management and members of the Hobart Greyhound Racing Club to ask you to respond and put your hands together for the Minister for Racing in Tasmania, the Honourable Mr Ian Braid.
Thanks, Robert, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. That was a magnificent race, and True Vintage is truly a great Tasmanian champion, and my congratulations goes to the Croswells. Congratulations to you, Robert, and to the Hobart Greyhound Racing Club and the committee for staging yet again another professional Hobart race. You're now turning on the races, and it's good to see a great crowd here. I believe greyhound racing is a great sport, it's a family sport, and I know it's going to go from strength to strength. And I'd like to also congratulate Foster's for their support of greyhound racing in Tasmania. And it's when you have sponsors like Foster's, professionalism like the Hobart Greyhound Racing Club and public support that greyhound racing will go from strength to strength. Congratulations and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, without a sponsor and a high-profile sponsor, the race probably wouldn't be what it is, and once again we must sincerely thank Carlton United Breweries, and more particularly a man who's always very cooperative in whatever the club needs, and I'd ask you to put your hands together for the State Manager of Carlton United Breweries, sponsors of this year's 1988 Foster's Lager Hobart 1000, Mr Rolf Shanahan.
Mr Higgins, Mr Braid, Minister for Racing, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I really appreciate our association with the Hobart Greyhound Racing Club and very pleased to see so many people here this evening. As you realise, they really do a fantastic job with the Foster's Hobart 1000. The girls all look magnificent, put a lot of time into their presentation for tonight, and it certainly would show a lot of other clubs the way to do these sort of presentations, I'm sure. They only work on a very small budget, and I must congratulate Robert Higgins and Carol Chilcott and their staff here for the way they present the Foster's Hobart 1000 each year, and we're very pleased to be associated with them. As the previous speaker said, True Vintage is a great dog, and I'm very pleased for David and his wife Margaret Croswell. They've waited a long time for tonight, and I hope they get a great deal of enjoyment out of True Vintage's win this evening. And now it gives me great pleasure on behalf of Carlton United Breweries, with the help of Robert, to present these cheques for the Foster's Hobart 1000. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. Ladies and gentlemen, third placing in the 1988 Foster's Lager Hobart 1000. No joy again, I'm sorry, Christine, but a very deserving place getter. Would you please put your hands together, Christine Oldfield and November Bale. We're not going to let Christine get away without a word, so Harold will probably take the greyhound, and Christine, if you'd like to come forward and say a couple of words.
Firstly, I'd like to congratulate the Croswells on their magnificent win. I'd like to thank the Hobart Club and especially Foster's for sponsoring this race. And I'd like to thank people that have helped me out here, Cheryl and Gavin Whitney and Ted Medhurst, while I've been here. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, second placing in the 1988 Foster's Lager Hobart 1000, and you've got to feel a little bit sorry for Maury Strickland. He's been chasing some of the good greyhounds around for a while now, and yet again another deserving placing in this prestigious event. Would you please put your hands together for Maury Strickland with Bookie's regret.
I'd like to thank Foster's for sponsoring the race and the HCRC and David and Margaret. I still can't get anywhere near David, but tomorrow night I'm up against you again. I'll have another go at you tomorrow night. Thanks very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, what more can you say about this champion greyhound that's going to come forward and collect the $8,000 winner's purse? Unplaced in Tasmania, probably one of the best greyhounds that we've had in the last 20 or 30 years, has certainly put greyhound racing back on the map, and I'm sure that everybody will acknowledge that she is a deserving winner of the 45th running of the 1988 Foster's Lager Hobart 1000, David and Margaret Croswell with True Vintage.
Thank you very much, Robert. I didn't think it would ever happen, but after 20 odd years of trying to win Hobart 1000, it's finally happened. I've been runner-up 3 times in Hobart 1000, but I didn't think I'd ever win one, but I got the right dog, I got the right box tonight, and it's finally happened. I'd also like to thank the Hobart Greyhound Racing Club for a wonderful series, Foster's, for their wonderful sponsorship. These events would never happen without these sponsors. And I can tell you there'll be plenty of Fosters flowing up in the bar directly. Thank you very much.
Margaret has accepted the cheque, and now it gives me great pleasure to present the cup to David, and I don't know whether you're going to fill that up with Fosters or not, David. Well done anyway.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a couple of formalities that we must go through. Of course, one of the lovely escorts led the winner here this evening, and I'd ask Mr. Derek Lucas from Edmonds to come forward and present the watch to Karen Chilcott, who led True Vintage in the final of the 1988 1000. Derek, if you'd just like to come forward and say just a brief word. And Karen, where are you? Don't hide, come back here.
Kerry, congratulations. I know you're not the owner, but leading that dog around must have been a fantastic experience. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Derek. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very pleased to have Edmonds and in particular Modern Jewellers who have assisted us with prizes for the girls, and they're greatly appreciated. We have one more. Is Greg Fay in the crowd somewhere? Because I believe Greg is the winner of the Calcutta. He was the buyer of True Vintage. He also bought Bookie's Regret. There is a cheque here for $720 for Greg Fay. I'm sure you'd put your hands together for Greg for a magnificent resume on the greyhound. Thank you very much, Greg. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that concludes all the presentations for this evening's event. May I firstly pay tribute to all the people that have turned up here this evening. The weather was kind to us, but the public of Tasmania have made this a fine spectacle. I do hope you back a winner for the remainder of the evening and hope to see you at future greyhound meetings. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.